Have you ever considered using trekking poles or hiking sticks? You'll want to stick around. Welcome back to Outdoor Skills Made Easy. You know, when we go hiking, we're always on a variety of different types of terrains, and so I will choose to use either a trekking pole or a walking stick depending on the terrain. Let me show you what I use. Walking sticks are generally used on a flatter terrain, and they won't necessarily take a lot of weight off of your backpack, but they do help with your knees and they help stabilize you a little bit. Let me show you some of the sticks that I've got and that have been presented to me over the years. So here's a simple walking stick that was made by one of my friends. They took the bark off, put some shellac on there, carved a little carving in the top, and I've used this one as I've traveled, and I've just put some medallions on that. A lot of people will collect medallions, maybe at national parks or different places that they hike. And so this is a great collector's item, and it becomes a very personal and useful tool. Here's a walking stick that's very dear to my heart. I went to a World Jamboree for the Boy Scouts of America, and we were in Sweden, and a friend of mine made this for me. It's got my name on it. It's got some engraving. This was all laser engraved. And then, of course, you got the foot at the end. I think there's some child somewhere in the world that's missing a shoe. It's a fun conversation piece. Here's another stick that was presented to me. Just a little carving of a face in there, and that's a fun thing that I just use for display. I really haven't used this out on the hiking trails. Another friend presented this hiking stick to me, and it's carved up all ready for me to finish off. It's got the foot on there. One of the fun things that I like about this is there's a place for a glow stick in the handle. And then finally, one additional carved in face on a walking stick, and this for me is also a display item that I just like to keep at home. Even though I've got a lot of hiking sticks, most of the time when I go out, I prefer my trekking poles. Let me show you why. You know, I never really considered using trekking poles until I got my snowshoes. And these poles actually came with the snowshoes, and I started using those as I was out hiking. And I thought, wow, these really make a difference. Let me show you what I like about trekking poles. When I'm backpacking with my trekking poles, it relieves a lot of tension from my heavy backpack. So my back feels better, my knees feel better, I have more stability, and it's pretty easy to get used to the trekking poles. You just use your natural gait, and your hands will follow, and it's easy to use. So I really recommend them. Let me show you some of the features that my poles have that you may want to consider when you're getting your own. First of all, these have a dense foam handle that I really like, and some straps that I slide my hands up into and pull down. So it relieves a lot of tension from your grip, and you're actually able to use your wrist as you're pushing forward. So a nice grip is really important. Some trekking poles have a cork grip, and over the time as you're using them, the cork will kind of conform to your fingers, and it becomes a very personal tool. So those are pretty cool also. Another thing to consider is the length of your pole. These poles are great. They have 2 adjustments on them. And what you want to do is consider having a 90-degree angle from your arm to the ground. So that's the right length for you. So you can test it up and down. These poles have 2 adjustments, one upper, one lower. And the other thing that they have is a basket that I can put on. If we're in a snowy or a muddy terrain, this helps a lot with stability. So these are great poles. They're made by Trek, and they have 2 locking mechanisms. Undo that, it slides up and down. On the back, there's a screw that tightens up and down. And as you find the correct measurement, just lock it in. You can do that on the bottom shaft also. Get your correct measurement. You can either remember the number on your pole or just do it on the fly when you get out of your vehicle and you're ready to go hiking. If you're on a long downhill stretch while you're hiking, here's a pro tip. You may want to extend your trekking pole about 5 to 10 centimeters. That's going to give you some added stability. And one other thing that's really cool, they make some tents out there. If you're a good, serious backpacker, the tents come with trekking poles as part of the tent uprights. So fold up the tent, put it in your backpack. When you get to camp, you've got another device to use with your trekking poles. Very cool. We hope that these tips have been helpful to you, and we hope that you'll join us again at OSME TV.